Hello, it's Dawn again. I did a Sapsack character guide for Street Fighter Zero before. Anyone would instantly recognize this character from the silhouette. Ironically, this is Dan Hibiki, who claims his martial art is Saikyo style. In the story, Ryu is his friend and senior, shown as naturally talented. Dan is only selectable via a hidden command entered right after inserting a coin. You start the game by pressing the start button, but you have to keep holding the start button without letting go. If you press light punch, light kick, heavy punch, and medium punch on the question mark, you'll select Dan. Currently, the character in the pink outfit is the original color. You can choose this EP color by holding the start button in the random box, then pressing heavy punch, heavy kick, light punch, and medium punch in that order. But the Saikyo style guy definitely looks best in a pink G. In Street Fighter Zero, Dan doesn't have his signature move, the Taunt Legend. Each player can choose to use the taunt button. Pressing start activates it, but for other characters, the taunt can only be triggered once per round. However, with Dan, whether it was intentional or a bug, he could taunt infinitely. Starting from 0-2, this might have been the reason why his taunt became a special move and turned into his signature Taunt Legend. This is the essential basic light punch you need to use when playing as Dan. The hitbox isn't terribly bad or anything, but it's really only used for close range situations. It's a simple move that can hit twice by repeatedly pressing light punch. However, since you can also link other basic moves besides the light punch, just hitting with the light punch twice might be a bit of a missed opportunity. Because the damage differs, use other basic moves when possible. The crouching light punch outperforms the standing light punch. It has a very fast startup and recovery frame, and even though it's a punch attack, it hits low. It's a basic move with pretty good frames and hitbox, and like other basic moves, it serves as the starting point for various combos. For reference, if you start with a standing light punch, basic moves related to light attacks can't be comboed, but if you start with a crouching light punch, you can pull off these flashy but basically pointless combos. These simple knockdown combos can also deal huge damage. Since the projectile's reach is short, the combo will likely drop. Apple. It's a standing medium punch with a gut punch animation. Depending on how you use it, it can be useful, but it's a pretty awkwardly situational normal. This move strangely has the same reach as a light punch. If it's simply used to connect combos, it's not bad. If you use it with a mid-air attack, you can deal decent damage. This combo is only effective because you can confirm the hit, but if you try to continue with the zero combo, it won't connect. To use the zero combo after a jump normal, you must use Godoken. Due to several flaws, there's a high chance the combo will drop. That's because the Godoken startup is too slow or the medium punch's reach is too short. It's better to use crouching medium punch instead of standing medium punch. Not much different from the standing version, it's still fast and has a longer hitbox than standing medium punch. Despite hitting high, it's still a low attack. Since it's a 7-frame plus on block normal, there's even less reason to use standing medium punch. For reference, even on hit, standing medium punch is only plus 2 frames, so there's a significant performance difference. It's a medium normal, but it's very strong since it hits twice. Crouching light punch, crouching medium punch, then Godoken is a basic combo that always deals big damage. Mid-screen, the overhead attack and the last hit don't connect, but in the corner, everything lands. It's a basic move that can't be comboed or cancelled, but among the basic moves with a single hit, it's the longest medium kick. It's the second medium kick. There are 2 hitboxes, but the hitboxes are quite small, which is a drawback. For Dan, whose moves are short, it's a relief they gave him this. It's not bad as a poke. Whether it's Saikyo Ryu or Bakuretsu Kazan Ryu, the main tool you rely on is the basic crouching medium kick. The hitboxes of the basic moves in both Saikyo Ryu and Bakuretsu Kazan Ryu were either average or terrible, but this one is actually useful. Just like with Bakuretsu Ryu, it's great as a surprise low attack. Because of its inherent limitations, you can't combo after the low attack, even if you hit with the tip. In the end, if you want to use it for combos, you have no choice but to get in close. If you doubt crouching medium punch's reach, use crouching medium kick instead. Damage is about the same, and despite being slower than medium punch, combos are rarely dropped. Honestly, hitting like this looks pretty cool, right? This is a standing heavy punch that's considered quite strong. It has good hitboxes, good damage, and while the cancel window is short, it's not unusable. Even really simple combos deal crazy damage when combined with the heavy punch. The heavy Dan kicks only hits when used through a heavy normal attack. Going into heavy Dan kicks is a big advantage, which I'll explain later. In the corner, you can do it like this, even after a jump in normal. Although its forward reach is shorter than standing heavy punch, crouching heavy punch is insanely good as an anti-air. So far, other normal moves had a big hurt box compared to their hitbox, which was disappointing, but crouching heavy punch is a main move for Dan. It comes out in 2 frames and is even easier to cancel than standing heavy punch. Since it's so quick, if you're unsure about the Shoryuken command, it's fine to use this instead. The damage is insane, you don't even need other zero combos, just this is enough. This is a lightning fast basic move that can deal effective hits even from jump attacks. In the corner, you can even land a heavy Denkokyaku combo after a light basic attack. It seems like an anti-air, but it's really a downward smash kick that can't be used that way. Although it's a normal move, slow 11 frame startup and inability to be cancelled, it still has uses. The attack hitbox comes out a bit late, but it has the advantage of being able to hit twice. This means it works very well as a meaty. Even if you don't use it often, the long frames that allow for 2 hits can be helpful in this way. Oh, and if the opponent only gets hit by the last hit, you can also follow up with a crouching heavy kick. This is a powerful basic move, the crouching heavy kick. It's an ultra fast basic move with a 2 frame startup, and the hitbox isn't bad either. It can quickly knock down opponents from a long distance. In Street Fighter Alpha, it has the same hitbox and startup frames as Akuma's top tier move. If both use the same attack at once, they hit each other at the same time. One difference is that Dan's stun value is 4, which is half of Akuma's 8. You can think of the stun value of almost all basic moves as being about half that of Akuma's. One of Dan's notable strengths is his fast recovery. Even when he gets hit by a trade that knocks both characters down, you can see that Dan's recovery speed is much faster. This means that it's actually quite tricky for the opponent to set up against him, so Dan isn't useless. This is a jumping light kick with a pretty fast startup and a decent hitbox. Of course, compared to something like Goo Kick, it's trash, but for Dan, it's the most useful move for rushing in. However, because of the jumping light kick's limitations, you must hit at a low contact point for it to combo. This is the jump medium kick, the craziest and most insane aerial normal move. Guy's last jump medium kick was wild, but this one's hitboxes are even crazier. The green box shows a character's body, and these boxes from different characters can overlap. In other words, Guy's jump medium kick that I showed earlier was good because it filled up even the back of the character's green box, but Dan's move has surpassed the already insane performance of Guy's jump medium kick. The hitbox was already wild for air to ground, but it's even crazier as a cross-up. Dan, who is one of the characters that's really easy to get cross-ups with, can break the game with just 2 of his insane Dan kicks and combos. If the jumping medium kick lands, huge damage is guaranteed. This is the Gadouken, a projectile that vanishes before you. From light to heavy, the reach gets just a little bit longer. This move is inspired by the projectile you fire in Art of Fighting's dojo when out of energy. I'm not sure if they made it to tease the weakened dojo characters or for another reason. Dan's Gadouken is actually pretty useful as a combo finisher. The damage isn't bad, but the serious drawback is that the stun value is only when he... If your opponent blocks Gadouken in the corner, you'll always get punished. Gadouken's light, medium, and heavy versions are -10, -11, and -12 frames respectively. This is Dan's anti-air move, Koryuken. The motion itself is the same as Furinka Zanju, but its hitbox is really terrible. It's terrible. At the move's start, like a true anti-air, the hurtbox vanishes. The hitbox comes out from frame 3, but it appears in the middle, not at the top. This part is understandable, but from the next frame, problems start to appear. The attack hitbox at the top only appears at frame 5, but at the same time, the hurtbox also comes back. If the opponent's jumping attack hits Dan's head early, it's tough to land a perfect anti-air, and at best, you'll trade. The final hitbox of Koryuken gets extremely small, and the hurtbox gets even bigger. If you try to use it preemptively to predict the opponent's jump normal, Dan can't win as an anti-air at all. Let's watch the video to see if that's true. The Koryuken animation appears, but he can't stop the jump attack and gets hit instead. You really have to use it with perfect timing for it to function as an anti-air, otherwise it's just trash. The projectile and anti-air were trash, but Dankukyaku is quite good as Dan's main skill. Light, medium, and heavy split into 1, 2, or 3 hits each with different performance. The light version has a flaw, it can't hit crouching characters. Even Sagat can be hit while crouching, and you won't be punished for it. If you predict your opponent's projectile, jump over it with light Dankukyaku to hit them. It's hard to use, but even occasional success makes opponents stop using projectiles, causing psychological pressure. The difference between medium and heavy is the startup frames. Medium has 12 frames while heavy has 17, so there's a 5-frame difference. For the medium version, it's minus 20 frames after, and minus 3 frames for the heavy version. Use the medium version after a medium normal when pushback from things like jump-ins would leave you too far away. As I mentioned, it's a minus 20 frame move, so if used incorrectly, you'll be punished. The heavy version has a 17 frame startup and can't link from medium normals. So the safest option is to link it with a crouching heavy punch. This combo is strong and has the big advantage of being very easy to use. Another benefit of the crouching heavy punch not mentioned before is that it hits low. In other words, after a jump attack, you can quickly follow up with a low combo, making it great for use with empty jumps as well. A big advantage of the heavy Dankukyaku combo is you won't get punished for it. The frame disadvantage is only minus 3 and the guard pushback is significant, so even though it's a forward moving move, you can use it safely. If you end heavy Dan kicks in the corner, you can spend meter to tack on a super for extra hits. You can use it at any super level and the damage is intense. This single combo can take out over half your opponent's health. It's incredible. This is Koryu Rekka, the super after Dan kicks. At level 1, it only moves straight up with no forward movement. From level 2 onward, it gains forward movement, but it finishes by going straight up like level 1. At level 3, forward movement improves significantly. It's mostly for extra hits after Dan kicks, but also works as an anti-air. If you use it at level 1 and act too quickly, you could waste your meter. Level 2 can be used in combos thanks to its forward movement. To avoid issues with level 1, it's better to use at least level 2 when using it as an anti-air. Level 3 definitely deals much stronger damage. However, since this is still basically a Dragon Punch move, its invincibility is very short. If you use it too soon, you'll get hit immediately, so wait as long as possible to use it. This is Dan's super, Shinku Gadoken. As the level increases, its damage and range get bigger. When activated, there's a very brief invincibility that's almost useless. At levels 2 and 3, combos can deal enough damage to remove half your opponent's health. If you land to level 3, it deals insane damage, enough to turn the game around in one shot. This is Dan's ultimate move, the Sure Win Mulho Punch. This move works best when used at level 1. Levels 2 and 3 do reach the final Hwangryong punch, but it's like they put in some weird flaw, maybe to mess with SNK. If you just look at the motion, Yongho Hang closely resembles Yongho Namo. After the quick hits, level 3 also connects normally. However, if the cancel is even a little bit late, it can fail to hit midway through the special move. If you're really unlucky, you might see something this ridiculous. When you do a whiff jump attack, even if you use it at level 1, the damage isn't bad. Even in the corner, using a crouching strong special at level 3 guarantees your opponent's head gets smashed. That's all I prepared for Dan from Street Fighter Zero. His basic moves are somewhat usable, but his stun value is absolutely terrible, so it's practically impossible to stun your opponent with Dan. The rest of his moves, except for Dankukyaku, are all full of flaws, but if you manage to land a Dankukyaku, you can still have a pretty satisfying game. Before Capcom made Dan completely useless, they were only testing the waters, so those of you watching this probably felt that he was more playable than you expected. That's all from Doll Eye for now. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you could like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thank you.